Hello and welcome back to Goal Side, football fans. In every footballer's career, there comes a moment when the urge to seek a new atmosphere and a bigger challenge becomes too great, and their desire to leave their current club overwhelms the loyalty they have to their current team. Very few players stick around at a single club for their entire career. Players like Ryan Giggs, Rogerio Ceni, Francesco Totti, Paolo Maldini, Jamie Carragher, and Lionel Messi are few and far between, and are always at risk of being called too scared to go for a challenge. This is, after all, one of the biggest driving forces behind a player's move to another club, despite having the undying love of his fans, a decent salary, and a life in their club city. The desperate need to escape the comfort zone that they are currently in and face the challenges of a new league or club. Even Leo Messi himself has been accused of being worse than Cristiano Ronaldo because of this, being supposedly not brave enough to leave his childhood club, FC Barcelona, and the Spanish La Liga, although we all know that this is nonsense. In this video, we're going to analyze the decision made between one of the most popular players of 2019 and one of the biggest clubs in world football. The transfer of 28-year-old Antoine Griezmann, also known as Le Petit Prince, to FC Barcelona, a deal which cost the Catalan Giants 120 million euros on a deal signed on July 14th of the year 2019. Marseille-born Antoine Griezmann is no stranger to being on the big stage. It must be said from the beginning, a star of the French national team, he was placed in the spotlight of world football most recently in Russia's 2018 World Cup, in which he was a key element of the team that lifted the famous trophy, scoring 4 goals and earning both man of the match in the final and third best player in the tournament, earning praise from reporters, fans, and fellow players alike with his performances. Still, his move from Atletico Madrid, the club that nurtured his almost limitless talents and developed him into the amazing player he is today, to a seemingly crisis-stricken FC Barcelona, which is struggling to get back on track to their traditional world-beating form, seems like something that many wouldn't have done in his same position, especially considering how well Atletico Madrid seems to have done in their first few matches of the season since he left the club. This isn't an attempt to nitpick or criticize unfairly either. Griezmann had his mind on FC Barcelona for a long time, and his wish to leave Atletico had been well known for over a year now. In fact, one can fondly remember his famous post on his social media accounts in which, titled La Decisión, or The Decision in English, he reminded everybody that Atleti and the Wanda Metropolitano Stadium, where his fans, his team is home, before confirming he would stay at the red and white side of Madrid for at least another season. Therefore, it's fine to say that he finally got what he truly wanted, to play alongside Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez at FC Barcelona. But it's impossible not to ask questions about what led him to do this. Was his club, Atletico Madrid, doing so badly in the Champions League, or the other competitions for that matter? Having reached 2 finals of the biggest European competition more recently than FC Barcelona, who have only reached 1 in the last 7 years to Atletico's 2, won the Europa League in the last 2 years, and been in the top 3 of the La Liga title race every year since the 2012-13 season. Weren't the Colchoneros good enough for a player of Antoine Griezmann's caliber? Truthfully, at this point in time, the move was only a small step up, and not the massive improvement on a player's career potential as it might have been, say, 10 years ago, when Atletico Madrid was just another club fighting for a place in Europe. Now, Atleti is another of Europe's elite. Even more importantly, the French star has gone from being the top star at a club that loved and cherished him to having to worry about the troublesome inner politics of Leo Messi's FC Barcelona, known for internal issues that have made world-class players drop their levels and seek for a quick exit before, such as in the case of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Yaya Toure, and, most recently, Felipe Coutinho. Some may even wonder if the little prince may have been better off heading to one of the 3 other clubs who would have had him: German giants Bayern Munich, French champions Paris Saint-Germain, or even the fallen English Titans, Manchester United. After all, French teammate Lucas Hernandez, who left Atletico Madrid for Bayern Munich in 2019 for a record fee of 80 million euros, his release clause, was open about hoping his ex-teammate would join him at the German champions, claiming that Griezmann could reach new heights and become the world's best football player in time if he found his way to Bayern Munich. Nevertheless, this move didn't materialize for obvious reasons, as the Bavarians are known for not spending too much on transfers, and Lucas Hernandez was already a strange move, considering that 80 million euros was a huge transfer fee for a fullback. Meanwhile, the talk of Griezmann joining an already potent PSG frontline didn't get very far, despite the excitement which surrounded neutral fans, who couldn't help but imagine what incredible numbers a front 4 of Edinson Cavani, Neymar Jr., Kylian Mbappe, and Antoine Griezmann would produce in terms of goals and assists, or even as a direct replacement for Neymar, who looked for a long time to be already out of PSG as he hunted for an FC Barcelona return. This, for the misfortune of Neymar and FIFA fans around the world, however, did not happen. Finally, in terms of potential scenarios, Antoine Griezmann joining Manchester United would have been a dream come true for English Premier League fans, especially those not fans of Liverpool or Manchester City, United's biggest historic rivals. The massive English club was even after Griezmann's services for a long time during the 2017 summer transfer window, with Antoine's brother Theo keeping United fans' hopes alive by expressing his admiration for the club on social media. This, alongside Paul Pogba's very close relationship with Griezmann, kept excitement high in Manchester until the very last minute, when it was revealed that Antoine would certainly not join United and would head to FC Barcelona instead. All in all, Antoine Griezmann cannot be blamed for not having wanted to go to FC Bayern Munich, a team that couldn't afford him. Paris Saint-Germain, a side that was already stacked with talent, perhaps wouldn't have been able to give him the role he desired. Or Manchester United, a side which sadly no longer possesses the attractive qualities that it used to when Sir Alex Ferguson was in charge. But anyhow, returning to the subject at hand, Griezmann's move to FC Barcelona raises other questions, now outside of the actual player's decision, but that of the team he went to. After all, how desperate were FC Barcelona for a player of his style? Perhaps you could say he was sorely needed, despite the dominance the Catalans have in their league, as we analyzed in a recent video named What is Happening to FC Barcelona. FC Barcelona's slump in form extends back to the end of the 2018-19 season, in which they let go of two winnable trophies, the UEFA Champions League and the Copa del Rey, and seem to have lost around half of their total goal tally when Lionel Messi was injured early in this 2019-20 season after the Copa America. Unfortunately for them, the Messi dependence, which has affected them for years now, is still present, and the Culés needed a goal scorer around to change their fortunes. But again, was it a forward of Griezmann's manner of play that they needed? It could be argued that he wasn't the exact player that the side was looking for. After all, perhaps it would have been more fitting to re-sign their old member of the almighty front three, the MSN, Neymar Jr., a player who truly knew the ins and outs of Barcelona's system, as well as playing alongside Messi and Luis Suarez. They had to go for a player who may find himself competing with Messi, Suarez, and Dembélé for a position up front during the tougher periods of the season. Sure, Antoine finds it easy to move from left to right, from central striker to the number 10 position, but everybody who has watched him play knows that he shares similar positions to Lionel Messi as a playmaker and false nine, and enjoys moving around the pitch as he plays. This may find itself at odds with the Argentines' play, and it may be that Ernesto Valverde will soon relegate Griezmann to playing in a stationary, one-dimensional position to one side of the pitch. Furthermore, and as another negative note against Griezmann's potential development at the club, is the new atmosphere in the dressing room. After all, the Petit Prince was one of the El Cholo, Diego Simeone's captains in the squad, representing their number one star in an already friendly environment which was very cohesive and united. He worked alongside Simeone, a very good friend and father figure of his, and was the designated penalty taker for the team. Now Griezmann will play second fiddle to Lionel Messi, and rightly so, as a newcomer, finding himself in a dressing room where he is no longer considered for big decisions, and having to gain the trust and friendship of his new manager, who may not be willing to put any big responsibilities on his plate just yet. Finally, the biggest pressure factor that could actually hurt Griezmann's hopes of a smooth shift to the new life at the Camp Nou is the fact that he will have to quickly gain the love and respect of the entire FC Barcelona fandom. And, as Dembélé's time at the club has proven, this may be harder than it seems. He'll certainly have more to prove than he ever did at Atletico Madrid, most importantly in the big matches against Real Madrid and his old side, and his every move will now be watched more closely than they were when he played for the Colchoneros. Can Griezmann triumph at the Camp Nou and show the world that he made the best decision? Perhaps, but time will tell if leaving Atleti for the Catalan Giants was the right move, and if he won't come to regret not having gone to Germany, England, back home to France, or if simply he should have stayed and become a Colchonero legend alongside the teammates and fans who knew and loved him. This has been all of our analysis on Antoine Griezmann's move to FC Barcelona. We hope you loved it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'll see you in the next video, football fan, right here on Goal Side.